The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And this is David White, your humble and lovably, squeezably soft host, in for another wonderful edition of the Power Trading Hour at your headquarters for technical trading and investing, TFNN.com. So what do we have happening out here? Up about 6 and change on the S&P cash. Even into noon, we didn't even have a billion shares. We've got 1.67 billion shares as we speak, which is very, very light, about like Monday before we tumbled on Tuesday. I keep on thinking that they were going to try to sell this in to the weekend. We've got fund buying, and the question is whether or not they're just holding it up. So funds have to step in and buy it at the highest price possible, or they're holding it up to hopefully gouge them when they come back on Tuesday. Both are viable options. Of course, we get the long weekend at the same time as fund buying, so we might be getting a little bit of a double whammy out here in a market that goes sideways. Normally, you get into these weekends and you can have extremely light volume, but 5 or 6 points on the S&P isn't anything, and 1.7 billion shares on a Thursday, not that much. But of course, we are going into a weekend, and when you look at the chart, actual stocks that are moving, they are all the highly short ones. Pretty much everything else is tending to be very flat. We've got some of the bigger movers out here. If I can find it here, let me. Facebook up 2 and 3, 2.2%. At 41.50, getting right back into that range where it's going to have a massive supply, and that is everybody that is just glad that they got out of this turkey after 1 year. So what else do we have out here? Microsoft's up 37 cents. We've got Intel off about 0.6% at 22.16, and I was looking for Apple. Why is it not on my list here? Maybe I changed the order for some unknown reason. Apple up $3.31, and pretty much it. We've had a little bit of action, but really in the thinly traded, highly short stocks, really seeing a lot of movement in them, and they are, for the most part, the market leaders. So what do we have? Vodafone is talking about getting a deal with Verizon. They are one of the movers today. And when we look at them, they're up at, about 8% today, up at $32 for the high today, and absolute ton of shares. Company noted recent press speculation confirmed it was in discussions with Verizon, but no certainty that agree will be reached. So it looks like we've got another one heading out to the merger category. Lululemon, of course, makers of that those wonderful super tight pants that you can see through. And, of course, there's no end to the amount of jokes that come out of that. But I have to say that I was amazed. Maybe I'll still remember it. I'll probably remember it till the day I die, because there was an incredible example of womanhood at the checkout lane one Sunday morning, and I'm pretty sure she just come from working out in those yoga pants. But I have to say, I wasn't expecting that at 9:30 in Sunday morning, and probably not a whole lot of difference between those in public and strippers. But I have to say, it put a little extra kick in my step, I had to say. Anyway, Lululemon up 3.5%. Heard positive comments. William Blair, head of earnings, expects solid Q2, but not a blowout, and sees encouraging Q3 trends. So again, just a lot of these no volume on this move, but we'll go through the ones that are moving. Now, hard drive stocks, another one. Of course, I have been talking about this for a while. I wish, in fact, maybe I'll draw it during the break and bring it back up. These disk drive companies look like they're making what is called a poly-trend move in the market. And polytrend moves, if you can think of like a contact lens, if you were looking at it from the side view, it's just a nice kind of arc all the way up to the top and just back down the other side. But we are seeing at least a decent volume in this one. It hasn't gone through its previous minor low at 61.49 from July 25th. That had 5.3 million shares. We've got 2.7 now. It's going to act as a little bit of support. I suspect we're going to see $58.04 fairly quickly next week. And that is because of weakness attributed to cautious Cleveland research comments. And it would not surprise me at all to start noticing that the margins are slipping. They had probably a perfect storm of margins over the last 2 years with the flooding of the Malaysian factories, and finally a shortage of hard drives to actually pretty much move this entire market all the way up to these highs in the hard drive space. But I can imagine those margins are going to be, they got 18 months out of them or 16 months. God bless them. I just don't see it going that much farther out here. What else do we have? Okay. Want to look at here. GES, another one moving. And what do we have in that? Guess is Gene's beat on revenues, guided Q3 below consensus, revenues in line, raised fiscal year 14 EPS in line, lowered fiscal year 14 revs, and heard underperform rating from somebody, recommended selling into strength. Kind of interesting, this thing getting a lot of negative press out here today, but certainly bouncing very effectively on, of course, a very quiet market day out here. But kind of interesting. Maybe they thought that they were going to even guide much lower. Hard to tell. Another one that is a big mover out here in the markets today is Zillow. Zillow's going for its high. It looks like it's going to try to hit this previous high that had 1.7 million, almost 1.8 million shares. That was on the 9th of this month. We are getting into that today. So let's say 1.8 million shares to 1.5 right now. So probably every indication that Zillow out here is going to hit those highs again. Again, pretty easy to move a market with a very, very light volume and run a lot of shorts if they are in the market. And I suspect what we're seeing in Zillow here today. Mid-cap losers. We've got a miss for TFM, which is, what is that, Fresh Market Foods. TFM down. Of course, this thing had made some fairly decent signs that it hit a high, went against its previous high of $54.70. 4.9 million shares on May 29th. Went through it on August 13th with 580,000 shares. Also, it was bucking up against a gap down. That gap down happened on November 28th of last year. It came on 6.5 million shares. So, we never really got the kind of volume that would make you think this thing was going to drive back up to the 62.48 high just before the wheels fell off last November, and you had that nice gap going against it. Certainly had one thing that I disliked, and here's where the power law vector indicator can be very effective. You had your first move from April 19th up to May 29th. You had your B2C leg come back on fairly light volume, back to a gap where this thing gapped up on volume. But everything since June 24th up to that August 13th high had absolutely no energy compared to the previous move of April 19th low to the May 29th high out here. So another one of these that looks like it's going to be back into this gap when that gap occur. What was the low of that close? Low 48 is 48.22 on May 29th out here, and tried to get in on June 24th. Did so on about the same volume, which you certainly don't like in this thing. So you had many warning signals on this. Probably the most extensive one was that June 24th to August 13 run that never had any kind of signs of strength, came up to that gap and rolled over. Shouldn't have been long in that one. There was a lot of clues saying that this thing had issues. SIG, another one off. We'll take a look at that. Signet Jewelers, a lot of volume today for not that much movement. Beat EPS by a penny, missed on revenues, guided Q3 EPS below consensus. This thing has a nice little gap, and we're going to be right into that 63 to 64.50 range. I suspect we're probably going to see that Tuesday or Wednesday next week. See if there's anything else out here that really is exciting. Not a whole lot. On COMEX, December copper fell 5 cents to $3.26 a pound. This is at the very low end of the range for copper. And anything more, we could easily see this thing dip back down below the $3 level. I think we were talking about it last week. I never liked the sign of strength that this thing did give over $3.30. It acted fairly wimpy and continues to underwhelm me with the move. And I think it's one of the canaries in the coal mine about world demand, and it continues to be just underwhelming, I guess, is the biggest thing. What do we have? December gold, at least at the COMEX, fell $6 to $1,412.60 an ounce. December silver fell 31 cents to $24.13, and we continue to see pullbacks in this gold and silver market. Yep, all the big stocks that have heavily shorted. Someone's showing all the heavily shorted stocks in the den, most of them in the 3D printer space. We'll be back in a minute. We're going to get into some of the stocks I'm looking at. You can always give me a call. In fact, this is a great day to give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. Got a lot of stocks to talk about, and I'm going to give a gold star away today to one of the dinners who did something that I hadn't thought about in a while, but I do regularly. I just don't do it overtly.
Andy Hecht, the host of the Commodities Hour, recently launched his newsletter service, the Technomental Commodity Report, and only 6 weeks in, Andy has already recorded a triple-digit winner. Andy advised his subscribers to purchase a long-term call option at 46 cents on July 11th, and then sent out a special update Friday, August 16th, advising his subscribers to close that position at $1.40. That's a 204% profit in just 5 weeks. The Technomental Commodity Report by Andy Hecht is released each Thursday morning, and right now you can get a month-long free trial to this subscription while locking in the low introductory rate of only $39 a month. Andy Hecht has been a commodities trader for over 3 decades. Let his experience work for you. Sign up for your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report today at TFNN.com.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhoads, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC. TFNN has just announced our first ever virtual trading competition, and we're giving away $10,000 in cash prizes, and it's free to enter. Sign up by Thursday, September 5th at noon Eastern, and the trading competition will take place the following week, Monday, September 9th, with first place winning $3,000. Don't delay, as you won't be able to register once the competition begins. Sign up now and reserve your spot in TFNN's $10,000 virtual trading competition. To sign up and for all the details, log on to TFNN.com. McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces, and over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're back. Going to be looking at a few things here, and then we're going to get in. Since the market's probably going to be rather quiet before the end of the day, famous last words, but I suspect it will. We're up 7 points on the S&P cash, and volume's all but stopped. I don't suspect we're going to probably get much at the end of the day either. So we're probably up 7 points on very light volume. Of course, if you are a price and volume guy, you don't like to see a market go up into a 3-day weekend on very light volume. Normally, that is a bearish sign. Going down on light volume into a 3-day weekend is always a little bit better. Of course, you know there's going to be light volume, and of course, normally you weed out the weak hands when it's going down. On this point, I suspect we are having a little bit of a short covering, and that is what is driving at least a handful of these stocks. Apple up $3, and what can you say? That's a big driver in this market, at least for the NASDAQ. But we've got some other moves. Surprisingly, we had natural gas numbers come out, actually hit pretty hard, but they've been coming back. UNG actually back up almost to its high of day of $19.15, printing out at $19 right now. And a lot of these stocks that had been pushed down or pushed up, a lot of that was positioning, I suspect, to get out before the weekend. We're going to talk about it a little bit when we come back. We're going to do some charts too. But I saw somebody do something in the den today that I normally do. And it was very early in the morning, but before trading. But basically, he started doing his mantras. And I think if you have never read the book, there is an excellent book. It's called Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. I highly recommend it. But he goes through a few things, and well, maybe we'll talk about those as we have time in the next segment. But there's always a few things that he has, and it's more about getting your mind right. And he has several things. But he says if there's anything as a secret in the nature of trading, this is it. At the very core of one's ability, it is to trade without fear or overconfidence, to perceive what the market is offering us from its perspective, stay completely focused in the now moment of the opportunity, and spontaneously enter the zone, which is a strong, virtually unshakable belief in an uncertain outcome with an edge in your favor. Just know that if you can hit if you can be successful 60% of the time in your trades, if you can keep your losses low, you will prevail over time. And of course, I talk about it a little bit, but this is not a game of football. There's nobody that I've ever known of that was the 72 Dolphins that won every single trade that they ever came in. And a lot of times, especially CNBC likes to break on especially some of the bigger traders when a trade doesn't go their way. These guys became big traders for the most part, not because their daddy had a lot of money, but because they practiced over and over, and more often than not were successful. They will take big losses. They will make huge gains. But if there's anything you can say, it is that you need to basically limit your emotional risk. And, of course, Mark Douglas has a nice list on this. And they are anything can happen. Things will happen. You don't need to know what is going to happen next in order to make money all the time. There is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. An edge is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability of one thing happening over another. And the last is every moment in the market is unique. So, just don't worry about it. You'll get consistent, and it is the result of a carefree and objective state of mind where we're making ourselves available to perceive and act upon whatever the market is offering us in any given moment. And carefree does mean confident, but not euphoric. When you're in a carefree state of mind, you won't feel any fear, hesitation, or compulsion to do anything because you are effectively eliminating the potential to define or interpret the market information as threatening to you or your ego. I want to send out a nice gold star to Z in the Den because he was doing just that this morning. He was going through his mantra, and that's always a good sign of success. I do it all the time. I just don't do it in public. Maybe I need to do it more. We'll be back in a minute. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
With the stock market flirting with all-time highs and volatility back, now is the perfect time for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights. On Monday, June 24th, Tom O'Brien closed out all 5 open positions in his daily newsletter, Market Insights, with all trades being profitable and ranging from a 2.23% gain all the way to more than an 11% gain in just one position for an incredible 32.7% profit combined between the 5 trades. Let Tom O'Brien's years of market experience work for you. If you'd like to see for yourself what kind of trading newsletter Tom O'Brien delivers to his clients each morning, then now is a perfect time to sign up for a 2-week free trial to his daily newsletter, Market Insights. In a volatile market like we currently have, the potential for fast market moves like we've seen recently is a trader's dream. So don't wait any longer. Sign up for your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today at the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And it is a quiet day out here, just 1.8 billion shares. I'll be surprised if we get 2.4 billion out and before the end of the day, and I suspect 1.8 billion tomorrow. It looks like we've got the market mavens of Wall Street have vamoosed, exited stage left, got on the stage and are heading to the Hamptons. Volume is very, very light. Of course, if you're a price and volume kind of guy, you see a move like yesterday and today on very light volume and a fade at the close. You have to start thinking there's certainly not a lot of people trying to get in front of this freight train before the 3-day weekend. But I wanted to do a little bit more because it is quiet, and there's not going to be a great deal moving in the next day or two. I suspect we're going to have a lot of action come Tuesday, and that is because I haven't seen anything in the way of either redemptions or purchases from these funds. That's all probably going to happen on Tuesday when they come back. So if they're selling or buying into this, we're probably going to have a decent move on Tuesday. I suspect that will happen later in the day on Tuesday, as mostly they come in, have their meetings, and don't decide what to buy and sell till later in the day, normally 1 or 2 o'clock. They start placing the orders and the market on close orders, everything else. But I wanted to get back a little bit to the Trading in the Zone book, because it is a nice day to take care of a lot of housekeeping and things like that, getting your mind right going into the weekend. But one of the other things that he has, I've got, is I've pretty much read, I don't know, 200 or 300 market books, and probably come down to 4 or 5 of them that I really think that there was significant stuff to learn. One is that Trading in the Zone, the psychological book. The historical perspective is in Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. The idea of working with randomness is Fooled by Randomness by Nassim Taleb. Those 3 books, I think, give a good background without getting into physically trading of what you have, but a mathematical perspective and maybe a philosophical, how can I say it? Anyway, a kind of an interesting idea, or more philosophical is the word I'm looking for, perspective with a fooled by randomness. But great 3 books, especially if you're thinking of becoming a professional trader. But one of the other things he has is eventually, and it takes anywhere, I've seen traders do well for a couple of years and then fade, but the ones that stick around tend to learn to think like a trader. And if you've met any of the people that have succeeded for a long term on Wall Street or at the CBOE, they learn to think like a trader, and it's almost mechanical. And he's got 4 points here, and that is, if you're going to learn to think like a trader and be mechanical, you're going to build the trust necessary to operate in an unlimited environment. You're going to learn to flawlessly execute your trading system, whatever it is. Train your mind to think in probabilities, and create strong and unshakable belief in your consistency as a trader. And depends on how you work it. I know traders that like Nassim Taleb that are right every 3 or 4 years. He's got $3.5 billion. I would say that was successful. Most people can't wait 4 or 5 years for the giant payoff. He bets on extremely out-of-the-money puts and calls, and that's something that doesn't pay off every year. But he's been right in 1987, was right in 1998, and other short things, but was highly right in 2000, 2008. And he continues to have these once every 5 or 10 year events. But why people are making a lot of money slowly, he slowly makes a lot of money very quickly, and that is over time. But kind of interesting thing that you're going to go up to the plate and swing hard and strike out a lot. So it takes a certain kind of middle edge that you don't really have, or most people don't really have. And again, it is the difference between playing football and playing baseball. In baseball, you're going to lose at the plate every 2 out of the 3 times you step up the plate, and you're still making $15 million. And just being a little bit more right, 1 extra hit once a week in today's baseball schedule is worth $10 million a year to $15 million a year. So just a little bit more of an edge. Just like in the stock market, you get that 1 more trade that you got in that went to the moon because you were doing things right. You had your head correct. So learn to think like a trader. And probably the most interesting thing is to learn to flawlessly execute a trading system. And that's probably the hardest thing. I always like those shows where the people are playing Texas Hold'em on the shows. It used to be all the time. I hardly see it anymore. But they always started off the game with saying Texas Hold'em, a game you can learn in 5 minutes and takes a lifetime to master. And even if you are doing everything right, we find these people that are on Wall Street for a huge amount of time. We've got Larry Pesavento, and we've got others here, that have 40 plus years of trading. I just know in 14 years now of me being and doing this pretty much full time. What I've learned now from these market changes, I can just imagine what it would be like after 40 years. We all learn a great deal. So we've got some interesting comments in the den, and I did want to bring that up too. We are having an open house in the den. You certainly can go to the front page in TFNN and sign up for it. Let's see, hang on just a second here. I'm trying to actually post something into the den right now. The reason I'm bringing that up is we've got that open house in the den, so you can go and sign up. I think it's 30 days, but that coincides with our promotion. We are giving away $10,000 of, I think maybe it's $10,000 of funny money to enter the contest, and you can win up to $3,000. But go to the front page of TFNN. If you're a member, you've been getting our emails. You need to check that out, and you need to sign up before the 5th of September. It was the 5th of September. Isn't that a song? Maybe our disco Steve in the background can be listening. I can't remember. Was it Papa Was a Rolling Stone? It was the 5th of December. Maybe it was the 5th of December. Can't remember that. But not him. Maybe you remember that song. What was it? Papa Was a Rolling Stone or something like that. But it started off, it was the 5th of December. Maybe it was the 5th of September. Can't remember right now. Anyway, they're going to try to find it and play it later. What else do we have going on? We'll look at a few charts here now, but just wanted to all remind you that, especially on days like this where maybe you're nursemaiding a position, there's always a lot of things that you can do to make yourself a better trader when there isn't constant, never interaction in the marketplace. The last thing I wanted to get, and then we're going to get into this charts from trading in the zone, is the intuitive stage. And this is what you can't learn in a minute, no matter how many books you read. A great example is one of my first jobs was at a high-end audio, video, and computer store. And when they were actually, it was the 3rd of December. They're going to play it later here, hopefully. They're coming back from the next break. We've got a call here, but I'll get back to this when we have time. We've got John in Philly. How you doing today, John?
David, hey, listen, thanks for doing the show. I really appreciate that. I wanted to ask you about Google and the power vector law indicator on that stock. I notice Google has made a low here this week, 847, same as the first week of June. The volume at that low on the daily chart appears to be lighter. Any reason in your work to think this might head back up to 920, 930?
Yeah, the energy's the same up and down. I would not be shorting Google out here. I think that it's kind of probably in an upper trading range. I think next week, with some bad juju, this thing could easily come back and hit that 730 where that gap is. That gap came from...
right down there in January.
It was on May 3rd, actually. There's a little gap out here, and that would take you right back
to... you said 830, right, sorry.
Yeah, so that would take you back to that gap. It's about 835 to 830, and you could bounce off of that. We've got lighter volume when you were right. 2.5 million shares to 1.7 million shares. I mean, this is like, I don't know, I'll go back to Boeing. Everybody was dissing Boeing. And I said, why would you short Boeing? Everybody was sure that the plane would have problems or something else. I said, they've got a plane that gets 20% better fuel economy than any other plane. There's nobody that's going to be able to compete with them. Not for 5, maybe not even 10 years will Airbus have that same kind of capability. They got 600 orders for the plane. So let's say they cancel 100. They'll get them back when they get the plane fixed. So people were trying to short Boeing out here. I think it's just the same thing. Yeah, can Google pull back a little bit? But where else are you going to go? I mean, it's got the search engine. It's got where else are you going to go to advertise? And when Google went down for 15 or 20 minutes a week ago Sunday, 40% of the activity on the entire internet went down at the same time. Because everything's hooked to Google AdSense. Everything's hooked to Google back in for Google Maps. Everything's hooked in for all kinds of things back into Google. As far as I'm concerned, Google is the internet. And, it made a nice sign of a high out here. It went $8 over the high. It did it on 50% lighter volume. So if you were going to short this thing, that was the time to pull the trigger. And I would certainly have yesterday have covered that short. So, maybe $75 in this thing. Go ahead.
Thanks for those comments. I'm wondering, do you happen to have any idea what the earnings estimates for 13 and 14 are on this name?
On Google?
Yes.
Balance sheet earnings, headlines, volatility, options, these statistics. Let's see if I've got it. Evaluation. Forward PE is 16.73, which is probably what you're looking for 2014.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like 14 right now, so 14 and a half. So yeah, it's a little on the high side, but my idea would be, would you pay a premium for a monopoly? Or would you pay 12 PE for a company like Western Digital that has Seagate against them? But is there really anybody that can go up against Google for search? And to me, you're paying probably a premium that'll stick in there just because they are, for all practical purposes, a monopoly.
David, thanks so much for your insights. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks, John. Okay. And so we're looking at that. Go ahead, thanks. So we're looking at Google, but when he was really asking, was there any more energy down than there was up in the last move, the answer is no. This thing really looks to me like right now, if the market really turns sour, could you find this thing coming back down a lot further? Yeah, but one thing I dislike is that it did not test the low to the penny. The 847.22 was actually 55 cents higher on this low yesterday. So it's still got 50 cents to go back there and what's called prove the point, i.e. go below it and then close back above it. And normally when you see these, even like this, on these larger stocks, they still like to do it. I wouldn't think about buying the stock unless it hit 830 and the volume was very light, which we might see next week. But I think we're going to see a lot of movement coming back on Tuesday. It's going to answer a lot of questions that we're probably not going to get answered today. So we'll take a look at it. And, of course, like I said, I'd pay a premium for a monopoly unless someone comes out with a better search engine. I use it every day. I use Google Maps every day. I use a lot of their services every day, and they're fairly transparent. I don't have to pay for them or give them my credit card. So when we come back, we're going to finish up with Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. And we were talking about the Z in the DINS mantra. Here's a good set if you haven't heard them before.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter,
Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
On Wednesday, August 14th and Thursday, August 15th, Tom O'Brien advised his Gold Report subscribers to close out 6 of their 9 open positions, all winning trades ranging from a 10.6% profit to an incredible 48% profit in just one equity. And all 6 of those winning trades had been initiated no earlier than just the previous month. With the 600th weekly Gold Report issue fast approaching, Tom O'Brien brings an incredible wealth of knowledge and experience to the gold market and the equities within the industry. That's almost 12 years since this powerful newsletter first began, and right now you can get a 30-day free trial to the Gold Report by visiting TFNN.com. Make sure you're a subscriber, as this volatile gold market provides trading opportunities after declining all the way from $1,900 to under $1,200 an ounce in only 2 years. Get your 30-day free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting TFNN.com. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
What's the one thing that pulls people back from the breakthrough that they're moving towards? What's the only thing that really stops people from taking action? You and I both know the answer, and sure, we can come up with the reasons why we're not where we want to be, but the only reason that we don't do more with our life is fear. Or if you're an overachiever, call it stress. Simply put, there's something that happened to us in our past that's holding us back from the life we deserve, yet you and I are okay, we're here. So why should we let our past control our future? Exactly. We shouldn't. Hi, I'm Steve Rhoads with TFNN.com, and when it comes to your trading and investing, I can help you overcome your fear of loss. Together, we'll turn weakness into strength with a system I've developed called Mastering Probability. I'll teach you how to make your money work harder for you than you do for it. I'll teach you the tools that provide financial freedom. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com, click on my name, Steve Rhoads, and begin your journey of mastering probability risk-free. It's time to become a pioneer of your future versus a prisoner of your past.
Join Andy Hecht as he teaches you how to make money in commodities. The Commodities Hour, next on TFNN.
And for those looking for Andy Hecht, he normally stalks me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he's off teaching traders how to trade. He'll be back, I think, the 3rd, so he'll be back next week, stalking me as usual, and I always feel like someone is following me, but interesting. Anyway, I wanted to finish up about the Den, and that is an open house in the Tiger's Den for 2 weeks. The best part that everyone is invited. The open house in the Tiger's Den will run from now through the end of the week along a virtual trading competition, which ends September 13th. Remember that virtual trading competition. You have to be signed up by the 5th, and the top prize, I think, is $3,000. So make sure you get signed up for that. I want to finish this up because it is kind of a slower day out here, and with a book that I cannot recommend highly enough. That is the Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. I think every trader should have it, and every trader should read it. But we were talking about mantras, and one of the traders in the den actually going through his personal mantra. If you don't have one, there is a great one in the book, and I'm going to run through it real quick in the last 3 minutes of the show. And basically he has, I'm a consistent winner because I objectively identify my edges, I predefine the risk of every trade, I completely accept the risk of every trade, I act on my edges without reservations or hesitation, the hardest probably one, I pay myself as the market makes money available to me, I continually monitor my susceptibility for making errors, and I understand the absolute necessity of all these principles for consistent success, and therefore I never violate them. So you might change those. I have my own set personally, and of course everybody has their own personality, temperament, and risk aversion. If somebody like me may be a little bit able to take more heavy losses. Someone that likes skydiving might even take more than I would. Everybody's risk is their own, but the idea is just to plan it and every once in a while go back through and refine your operating procedures. It's no different than running any other business out there, but just always think about why you are a consistent winner. And take a look at that book. I think tomorrow I'm going to go through some things from Jesse Livermore and out of his book, and that is just a lot of the lessons in history. I may even try to dig some things out from Nassim Taleb's book, because I know it's going to be a quiet move out here. We're at 1642 on the S&P cash. We've got 1.9 billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape. Probably not a lot of that's going to change. Probably going to see a little fade into the close today. I'm actually really shocked that we didn't go lower on a lighter volume today. I thought maybe I'd have an opportunity to take my short positions off maybe tomorrow into the close, but it looks like a light volume rally into Friday would mean that we're probably going to come back and see heavier selling next week after we get through one day and probably only 1 day of fund buying, because I just can't see any kind of volume in here that would suggest either the funds that we're buying or selling this month so far. So anyway, you all have a great and safe and wonderful day. Tomorrow I will be in the studio and with Tom O'Brien at 4 o'clock for the Tech Insider Hour. You'll actually see my bright and shining face on Tiger TV instead of just my charts. But we'll see you then. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page at TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.